Chapter 108. It's time to let go. Yes, darling, for real this time. We both know, we really do, you will never again be mine. The party at Agneta and Kevan's was cozy and relaxed. As soon as Jenny arrived, she saw they had worked a lot to get the apartment in the state it was now. They had put up new wallpaper in one of the rooms and they had unpacked all the moving boxes. She walked around with a glass of wine in her hand and ate some of Agneta's delicious canapés. In addition to the band, many of Kevan's and Agneta's fellow students from Handels and Chalmers attended the party. Jenny engaged in some small talk, but after listening to a future engineer talking about her thesis on alkali release from oxygen carriers, she walked over to the window and looked out. Diego, what are you doing now? How are you doing? When they had been together, she had often worried about him. The worry was worse now that she never spoke to him. Malk had asked if she was afraid that Diego would hurt himself, maybe take his own life. Jenny was glad she could totally dismiss that. Diego had survived too much to take his own life. That would just never happen. But maybe he would take even larger risks now that he had less to lose. He had already lost her. His girl. The girl he had remembered from a short encounter years ago, just because of the way she had smiled at him. A girl he had kept an eye on for so long and helped in her darkest hours. A girl who had decided to leave him even though he had been her hero. You still are. I hope you understand that. Hey, how are you doing? Kevan put an arm around her. Okay. I'm just thinking about how Diego might be doing. Do you remember how angry you were when I tried to talk to you after we broke up? How you left me standing like an idiot, shouting through the mail slot? She smiled. I remember. I know the best I can do for Diego is to leave him alone a while. But I hate not knowing how he is doing, how he's feeling. He put his lips close to her ear and whispered, I know, I remember. Agneta looked at them. When Jenny's eyes met hers, she quickly turned her tense face away. Don't worry, I'm about to close the door. Just as Jenny had anticipated, Zebra was asked to sing some songs, so they did. Jenny and Kevan sat next to each other on the table, Kevan with his guitar in his lap. Pom-Pom sat on the sofa and drummed on the table. After a few songs, including a Christmas song, Jenny looked at Jonas. It was time. I want to sing a song dedicated to our lovely hosts tonight. Kevan's guitar touched her elbow when he moved. He probably looked at her, but she didn't look back. Jonas played the intro. Jenny cleared her throat and began to sing. We're breaking things we can't repair. None of us will take the blame. No, nothing can be done this time. She had blamed herself for so much, for so long. She knew, thanks to the talk with Peter that beautiful night in the archipelago, that it was nobody's fault. No one was to blame. She knew now, but it was too late. All that blame had torn them apart. There was no need to talk anymore. Everything was already said. It was time to move on. Don't let me get you down. Let's just move on. I am setting you free. Jenny looked at Agneta, hoped her words would give her relief, hoped she would also find some relief. 'Cause I don't wanna hurt no more. I don't wanna make you go through one more rainy day. Of course she didn't want them to hurt anymore. Her best friends. They had already been through so much for her sake. Everyone understood they were hearing more than just another song. The smell of the mulled wine spread in the room where the air seemed saturated with the emotions radiating from Jenny, beaming to Agneta and Kevan in a triangle of invisible light. Tears welled up in Jenny's eyes. She didn't try to hide them. Her best friends had the life she once thought she wanted. Their own apartment, stable relationships. They were what Diego referred to as the happy, successful people. What about her? She was in limbo, belonging nowhere. For a while she had felt at home in Diego's world, but she had shut herself out of it now. She didn't belong anywhere anymore. She was alone. When Jenny ended the song, she glanced at Agneta. Okay, will you stop worrying now? Agneta, whose eyes were also misty, mimed, Thank you. For the first time after she had started singing, she turned to Kevan. He met her gaze for a short moment before looking away. It was too late. She had already seen his pain. She knew that he had seen hers as well.